Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life. We are here tonight with another great show with another powerful influencer that is intended to be here just for you. Hello, and welcome to the show. This your girl, Lotus Richey. I'm so happy that you are here today. And you know what I always say, come on in, and get in where you fit in because I got room right here around my table for you. Tonight, we have another explosive meeting with the folks from This Town Won't Die. They're trying to help you help yourself to ignite and take flight and do what's right for your town and keep it alive and not just let it survive, but make it thrive. So come on in, get in where you fit in. And remember, like, share, start a watch party. And most importantly, make sure you have something good to drink. Okay, tonight I have some lemon citron tea from Korea with 2 fresh slices of lemon in it. So I'm going to take me a sip. So periodically, make sure you take a sip too. Okay. So now what I want you to do is go ahead, share this broadcast, like, and start a watch party. And when you come on in, we've got people already streaming in. Hey, Vince, I'm happy you're here. You're here. And Angela Elton from Washington, D.C., she's here. Good to see you, Angie. And when you come in, make sure you put where you're from. We want to know where you're live streaming from because you're important and where you're from is important too. So many of you know that the remarkable documentarian Vince Grassi has been here before and he's talked to us. He shared some of his convictions about not letting his town die. He shared about facing corruption. Even in the face of fear, he stood up when many others would have sat down. So tonight we're going to talk about This Town Won't Die. And I'm going to ask you guys some critical questions. I wonder if you would be able to stand up for your town and not let it die. So we're getting ready to get started. And before we get started, I'm going to have another sip. Woo, I'm loving that tea. Yes, I am. Hello, good to see you. Let us know where you're coming in from. Oh, good to see you. So as we get ready to get started, go ahead, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your children, tell your grandmother, tell your grandpapa, tell your friends, and tell your frenemies. It's time to come on in and win. And I'm going to share this with you too. I always tell people this. Get your notepad. Why? And get your pen because note takers, baby, are sure money makers. And if you want to get some golden nuggets tonight from Vince Grassi and Mike Kovatich, I think I said that right. If I didn't, Mike's going to get me, but it's okay. Michael, hopefully he'll go easy on me. But if you want some tips, go ahead and get your notepad and get your pen because I always say note takers are money makers. So come on in. It's time to win. Here we go. Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life. We are here tonight with another great show with another powerful influencer that is intended to be here just for you. Well, my friend, we are back with the remarkable documentarian himself, Mr. Vince Grassi. And I just want to thank you, Vince, for coming back on the show and sharing your heart with the world about your movie, This Town Won't Die. So thanks for being back. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for making this a habit every Friday. Really do it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And like you said, we make this a habit Friday. I do a show called News You Can Use, but after News You Can Use, we've got this 7 p.m. So what we want to do for the next month or so, instead of doing the 5 o'clock, we're going to do the 7 o'clock. And each week, we're going to bring you some news you can use right on this broadcast as we talk about This Town Won't Die, and we help you to help yourself and not let your towns die. So, Vince, I know it's been a while. I know things have been locked down where you are, and you want to share who you are, where you're from, and how the lockdown has got you going these days.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly. My name is Vince Grassi. I'm the documentarian and producer of the film series This Town Won't Die. I've been in video production and movie making for over a decade right now, and enjoying every moment of it. I'm glad it's brought me to this moment. We did have to live through a COVID-19 scenario, but I think we're getting through it okay.
Okay.
It looks like on our end, things are starting to kind of open up a little bit more, and even I think I saw in the local article today, even the unemployment in Pennsylvania might be going sliding back the opposite direction. So it's not on the rise anymore. And that's good.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So listen, folks, like I said, we've got a super show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about some really, shall I say, tough concepts. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to come on in, because it's time to win, and put your question in the comment and we'll get them answered for you. So I want to go ahead and say hi to some folks that are already chiming in. Dr. Selena Pinashimo, it's great to see you. She said, hello, coming from Martha's Vineyard. Good to see you. Hey, D Friday. How you doing, D Friday? If you guys don't know D Friday, I'm telling you, this is a powerhouse young lady. And don't forget Dr. Selena Pinashimo. She is an amazing speaker, author, and just amazing. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Okay, so as you come on in, let us know where you're coming in from. Dr. Selena, she knows how to come in to the broadcast. So make sure you do that. So as we come on in, we've got another fireball with us tonight. And so I want you to take this opportunity to welcome my guest, my new friend, your new friend that's going to help you win. Welcome, Mike, to the stage. Hey, Mike. How you doing, darling?
Hi, good. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. How's everything?
Great.
Fantastic. I see you still have some light of day where you're at.
A little bit for now.
Awesome. So how's everything going with you? Are you getting out amid the COVID, or are you still working in your area? Because we know you're a serial entrepreneur. And I don't mean Captain Crunch either.
I enjoyed a short dose of isolation. It was very good for me, and now I'm back at it and taking proper precautions in all of my businesses to limit my exposure, but happy to be back out in the wild.
Awesome. He said in the wild, y'all. It must be like
That's what I feel like. It really does.
I know. It's amazing, because when we get like we're so far away from people now, this social distancing is really taking a hold. And then when you get out, it's like, oh my God, civilization, I'm back. Yeah. So yeah, we get it. So listen, Mike, I'm super happy that you're on the show. And we know that you were a part of the show. You played a significant part in the show, and you really got a wonderful message out. So tonight, of course, everybody, we're going to be talking about the movie, This Town Won't Die. And we're going to be really wonderful to you. Why? Because Vince said so. We're going to show you some clips from the movie, but you got to stick around to get down. So let's get right into it. I'd like to know, where did the name This Town Won't Die come from? Where did it come from?
Well, this is going almost full circle from when I was first introduced to it. I believe Mike was there to witness this, but in the early research of some of the early literature that I was reading, it happened to be on, I believe it was a Randy Whittle edition of a Johnstown historical book. But it was basically on the front page. The words "This Town Won't Die" basically inscribed in spray paint across the river wall of the Johnstown spillway, and right outside the old high school. So there's a little bit of poetic, I guess, resemblance there, or it kind of go together side to side. But I really just really took to the name as well. This Town Won't Die reverberates, I think, a lot, a lot easier off the tongue. And, I think everyone that says those words really connects to it personally. And when they're living in their own community, it gives them, a sense of pride, and it creates like a mantra where, they don't want to see their own town die. So just kind of stuck with it, and here we are.
Awesome. So look, let me share this with you. I love the name myself, and anyone that I've shared the name with, people are like floored, like, wow, that's a very powerful name for a movie, because we face so much destruction and so much death in business, death in our own personal lives, and death in our dreams, and death in our hopes. But you're not letting the hope of the people die, because you're not letting their town die. Mike, I want to ask you this. You ever lived in a community and it started dying and it wasn't thriving? What was the common attitude in the town?
Sure. So, I was born and raised in Philadelphia. Spent the vast majority of my time on that side of the state until about 12 years ago. So seeing a much bigger circumstance, of course, but seeing neighborhoods and seeing the community as a whole go through cycles, right? Whether or not those communities have determination to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, et cetera. But seeing a little bit of that, and really when I first came here to Johnstown, I didn't recognize that right away. I was just sort of minding my own business, but that has been the thing that stuck with me and really has motivated me to really stay a part of this community. Is that there are people here that are 100% determined, and it is the people of the community that are determined to make sure this lives on, right? So I love this name of this movie. It really speaks to the character of all the people that I've met in this area. And despite sometimes, some folks' best efforts to see otherwise, we're persevering here.
That's great. And if you can identify with what Mike has just said, go ahead and put a 2 in the comment bar below, because that means me too. I can identify. So great, Mike. Thanks for sharing that with us. And we've got a couple of questions that we wanted to go ahead and tackle. The other question is what inspired you most to take up the mantle to even do the movie?
Yeah, for myself, I think we live in a time where a lot of smaller towns are kind of overshadowed by a lot of the outside mainstream. I mean, there's just so much commotion and noise that just comes in and goes, especially during the political season. But originally, I was attracted to Coach Ed Taylor, who was developing the sports program for the youth in Johnstown, and I really took to that initially. I thought there was real heart to that and sincerity. But as time went on, the town itself took on almost a character, and so much activity, even though with the condition that it's in, is really occurring behind the scenes. And I think a lot of people, they're almost used to the fact that their town is perhaps dying, but nobody's giving it a voice. So here's a platform to really bring that out and really express for them, if they don't necessarily come out and say it directly. I think this film does that for them. So it was really important. I think it's an important topic right now for small communities. They should watch this movie, and I think a lot of people can really connect to that.
That's awesome, and I love that you said that. So what inspired you, Mike? Because there's got to be something that makes you say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this movie. You guys were filming or producing this movie a few years, right?
Since 2015, early on 2015. So what years.
Yeah. So what made you stick with it, Mike? Because that's a long duration.
Well, so like I mentioned, I came to town here about 12 years ago. But as a young kid, I remember one time coming to Johnstown on a family trip, and with some family and some proximity to here, and just really being fascinated with the town's history surviving natural man-made disaster. And I think that when I came back here again 12 years ago for business, it wasn't really a matter of choice. I ended up here as a result of a tragedy and with the passing of a business partner. I ended up here, and I very quickly realized that this town has done this over and over again, where it has survived these gargantuan kind of events. Now, some of the things that I think it's dealing with are, they're from within. They're political, and but I have some faith in looking at the history of this community and realizing that, we're going to pull through this too, right? There's enough good people, and actually that's been one of the best things about being involved in this is I feel like in the beginning, I may have had some apprehension about sort of attaching my name to Vincent's mission. That was, there are other people like me that Vince interacts with, and of course the film too, that feel the same way and are ready to take their ball and carry it down the field here. So I'm inspired by Vince's work here.
Fantastic. And I see several comments where folks have said they can identify. I said, if you can identify, go ahead and put a 2 in the comment bar below. People are already putting a 2, and I can identify, so I put a 2 in as well. And I want to say hi. We've got quite a few folks coming on and streaming on my phone, on the laptop. I want to say hey to Andre Rush, Dem Scott, good to see you. Happy that you're here. Vanita Busby Murray, good to see you. Happy that you're here. Please let us know where you're streaming in from. And go ahead. You might get something that comes up on your screen and say, hey, allow us to let your comment be shown up. And just put okay that you agree. And we'll be happy to show your comment here on the screen. So anyway, Mike, I love what you said because it always goes back to the people in the town. The people are the ones that matter. And I know you guys have a gentleman named Coach Ed Taylor. He is just giving so much back to the community, and he's trying to share that, hey, we can't let our children's activities die. We've all got to pitch in, but he's also a part of the movie. And when I talked to him the last time when he was on the broadcast, he just shared from his heart. And so I want to take this time to share this with all of you.
I had it in my mind to do something positive here in Johnstown for the kids. Last year, we started the NFL Play 60 with 2 teams. And the reason why we did that, at that time, wasn't no flag football league here in Johnstown for 4 years. Flag football is needed here. Simple.
When he finds out something, he's the type of person that wants to get it going, and he's not doing it for selfish reasons. He did the same thing with basketball. Like, why there ain't got no basketball here? Because he comes from a community where there was a lot more going on.
I love that. And it takes a community. There's this cliche that says it takes a what? It takes a village.
A child, I believe.
That's right. So if it takes a village, if a village helped to raise you, our viewers, go ahead and put a 3 in the comment below if it took a village to help raise you, because it does take community. So, Mike, I know that you talked a lot in the movie about some of your experiences. You talked about even some of the areas of corruption and how the town, and not just your town, but every town could overcome. So, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about what you conveyed from your point of view and why it was so powerful?
Sure. I think maybe the main thing that I touched on in the time that Vince and I spent talking about this directly was, my concern with the political scene in the community as a whole, and with nepotism in particular, that that there seems to be this really small group that really represents all the decision making for the entire community, and that the majority of folks are just along for the ride in this circumstance.
Wow. And so Vince is going to share a little bit of what you conveyed to the world in this movie. Vince?
Yeah. I mean, I can basically follow right along with what Mike's suggesting as well. Let's just be frank about it. Opportunity can make a thief, and I think in this town there's a riddled sort of history of a lot of the same mentality. That kind of breeds a lot of the same characters, I guess, if you will. And with that, it just comes with the same old, no new ideas.
Yes.
Ever, sort of rise from that, unfortunately. So we have to push beyond that as a community. I think we really have to start transcending, and not just Johnstown. I think Johnstown speaks for the whole country, the way things are being run. We followed suit behind the last set of leadership, and we've kind of ended up where we are now, more divided than ever, unfortunately. But we do need we need recollection. We need more civic cooperation, engagement, and that will all come as long as people know what's happening in their communities that's causing this in the first place. You have to call out the problem, and
exactly.
I think in our communities, small, large, people are just afraid to call it out as it is, and you're not going to get anywhere from that.
Awesome. That's true. And so Aline Bravo is with us. I think she's coming from Cuba. So hi, Aline. Go ahead and put in the comment where you're streaming in from. Thank you so much. And Vince, I'd really love to see that clip that you have where Mike is. That'd be great if we could see that. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, sure. We have a couple here we can share from the movie.
And while Vince is keying that up, if you're ready, we'll wait. And then if not, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to, he's got it already. Wow. He's on the ball.
Here's the introduction of Mike Kovatich.
I left behind a construction business in Eastern Pennsylvania, and that was still my passion, but always looking
We can't see it.
Real estate and looking at.
Yeah, we can't see it, Vince.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
How about right now?
Yep. So just go ahead and click on it and it should come up and it'll play for us. Let's see if we can see that.
Okay.
I left behind a construction business in Eastern Pennsylvania, and that was still my passion.
No,
always looking at the potential.
We still can't see it. We still can't see it. But it's okay. See, Vince is always so serious. See, Mike and I were smiling, right? But Vince is like, I got to get this up.
That's all right.
He's a documentary. He's the movie maker. So he's like, no, I got to get this. It's something going on. I got to get this thing. But Vince, we know you're great. So no worries. But Mike, I wanted to ask you this. You knew that during this movie would have some repercussions. Sure. You knew during this movie could be somewhat dangerous. So were you ever afraid when you did this movie?
Sure. Not in the sense of maybe you're thinking, but so being in business in this community, my primary business, its customers are outside of the region. However, I have some business ventures that are very community involved, and I have a not-for-profit that is directly related to this community. And I really did have some fear of who, for instance, would take issue with working with me. And
right.
What would this do to some sort of political conversations that I had started to kindle? And I did see some effect of that, but I realized going into this that was a potential repercussion, that perhaps some of those powers that be that would speak to me very openly, they've gotten very quiet since seeing my involvement in this, which quite honestly is okay with me.
And so with that being said, does that affect you like on a financial level or personal level? How does that really affect you and play into your life?
Yeah, I think so. So one positive effect of that, though, is that you find out very quickly who your genuine friends are, right?
Yes,
People that
that's
even
true.
you this is sort of polarizing, right? And
Right.
I've identified myself as someone that wants to see things go in a very different direction. So like I said, some people ended up kind of fading away from my scene, which is okay. But as far as financial ramifications and such, yeah, sure. So there's groups like my construction business, for instance. I think there are folks that are a little bit more apprehensive about working with me on community projects, and so that has a financial impact on me. But
Wow.
we're still doing great work, and we're working our way back in by having the right conversations. Everyone
Right.
knows at this point my intent is to do the right things for this community. I don't, so I think that answers your question.
All right. Fantastic. And thanks. And so Vince, I think Vince got the item queued up. And I'm going to hit share screen. Or no, Vince, you should be able to hit share screen. Go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. Let me know if this works, Houston.
Okay. And make sure your share sound is on as well.
I believe that is true.
Okay, fantastic.
Let's see here. Application.
And while he's getting that going, I want to say hi to Gerald Peterson. Good to see you, Gerald. Thank you for your service. I greatly appreciate you. Clarice Williamson, thank you. Happy that you're here, and don't hesitate to make a comment in the comment bar. And so what we're going to do is share this clip for you. I'm going to bring it up right now. And Vince, go ahead and hit play.
Okay, let's see if this works.
I left behind a construction business in Eastern Pennsylvania, and that was still my passion, but always looking at the potential of real estate, looking at architecture and, taking in some of these things and wondering, okay, why haven't these been saved? Why hasn't anybody adopted any of these buildings? And even the ones that are occupied, there's a sort of slumlord mentality across commercial and residential.
Oh, that's a short one. We have more.
Okay.
Were you able to see it okay?
Yep. Go ahead and cue it up. And Mike, I love that you shared that, you know what? We've got to make some changes. We've got buildings here that some are not being used. We have buildings that are being used, but some of these buildings are like, not even almost fit to live in because we have slumlords. So with that being said, I'm going to bring this one up, and Vince is queuing this up, and he's going to share some more of this footage with you. Mike, you were really brave to stand and say that.
I think that a lot of people look at the downtown here and look, it was on a trajectory for improvement. We've read more recent news about, developments that were planned, large-scale developments, and one piece cropped up, and they weren't sustained. They didn't go out and try and find the next piece and the next piece, and that's what it takes in the scenario we're in. It takes local government and local developers out in pursuit of those other relationships. We've got to incentivize new entities coming into town, because otherwise they've got a million choices. Why would a company choose to set up shop here?
Wow.
Would you like to see one more?
Of course. If you want to see one more, everybody, go ahead and put a number 4 in the block below. Put a number 4 in the block below, because I'm telling you, this movie gets down to the nitty-gritty. I'm going to put my 4 in the box below. I don't know about you guys, but I want to see some more. I definitely want to see some more. You see what I'm saying? I want to see some more. All the way, that's right, all the way in Martha's Vineyard. She's wanting to see what you really got to say, Mike. What's really going on? Okay, here we go.
I think that challenge is very real. So you've got folks that are on a sort of dependency track. They've got access to different programs that are supporting their lifestyle as it is. What's the motivation between a sort of entry level position and that to lift yourself up out of that cycle? We need to create employment opportunities that are more meaningful than that. I don't blame the folks that are stuck on that cycle. We're from an industrial town that was counting on that as its future. When the industry pulled up, we should have, as a society, known that, okay, we have to retool now.
Okay. That's all we got.
Fantastic. So, Mike, you said that as a community, you guys had to retool. But what about the people that didn't know how to retool? What about the people that didn't have the money or have the influence or have the wherewithal to bounce back? What about those folks?
Well, so and I think what I was trying to say there too was that, you know, this isn't the responsibility of the people that, you know, no one I don't think in the late 1970s expected the abrupt departure of industry, right? That was something that, if anyone, was the political powers at the time were the only ones that had something of a heads up on that. And it's those political powers that have a responsibility to their community, the folks that elected them, to go, okay, how do we reposition? How do we move forward? How do we do this quickly so that, you know, we're not just leaving people jobless, and that families whose grandfathers and fathers worked in this industry and expect their sons and their next generation of grandsons to work in these industries, that those answers don't come from the individuals. That should have been handled by some of the folks that were, you know, running the town, running the county, running, you know, at a state level, even at a federal level, to be involved in saying, okay, this is a major departure from the norm. How do we make sure that people don't get left behind in this? I can't hear you.
Hear me. I know you can't hear me. Thank you. You know, that's a universal thing. When you can't hear something, everybody on the planet knows this. And it's a look, right? It's a look that you give people. You're like, let's do it. Come on, Vince. Let's do it. Come on. Come on, Mike. Let's do it. You out there.
That doesn't work. There's always another gesture, too, we can think of.
What is it?
I don't think
clean.
Yeah, it seems to be working.
So in Japan, the no is like, so for all of my Japanese folks and friends and family that watch the broadcast, you know what this means, like no. So we're going to have a wonderful clip from the movie. It's about a 5-minute clip, but we're only going to play a little bit of it. And we're also going to share with you the link so that you can go and watch a portion of this movie for free. But we're also going to share a link with you that's a paid link. So if you would, Vince, go ahead and put in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and bring the movie up in a minute. And we're going to give you guys the free link. And also, we just want to thank many of you folks that sent us your information. I actually have not been to the post office in probably 2 or 3 weeks now, and only went because there was a family emergency and I had to go. But we have someone that won a shirt from here, and I'm just waiting to get the shirt in so I can send the shirt out. But what we might do is have the shirt sent from PA, and that's the shirt right there. So I have the gentleman's address, so I'll send it to Vince, and I'm going to pay for the shipping, okay? So if you want one of these shirts, okay, this town won't die. If you want one of these shirts, if you are the 7th person when we come back after our break and you say, this town won't die, in here, I'm going to just go ahead and put it in here for you. And it's got to look like this. This town won't die. If you put that here, let me make sure you can see it. If you type that and not a capital I, Let me change some stuff, folks. Not a capital I in the DIE, okay? Just a lowercase I will work, all right? This town won't die. If you type that, this town won't die in, you're the 7th person that types this town won't die, then we're going to give you a shirt as well, okay? So I think I've got what I need. I've got the Vimeo. And we're going to copy that and we're going to get ready to share this movie with you. And you're going to love it. And I may not play the whole 5 minutes because I want you to go and take initiative yourself and go to it and look it up because you will not be disappointed. And then we're also going to share the 30-minute trailer with you where you can go and watch. And I think, Vince, did you share with me the movie where they could get the link and actually pay for? I think it's what you had it on sale for a while. It was only a few dollars.
Right now, it is available exclusively on Vimeo.com. That's the on-demand part of it, and it's going for $1.99. You can watch the entire film. It's over 2.5 hours, so you're getting your money's worth.
Awesome. So folks, I'm going to tell you this. We are going to take a quick break, and we're only taking a break so that you can go ahead and get your popcorn or whatever it is that you want to get. So go get your popcorn. I've got some tea. Vince, what are you drinking?
Oh, just my own little concoction. It's some herbal beer with a shot of espresso. Some other things in it.
Mike, what are you sipping on?
Just water, just pure water.
No wonder your throat is cracking. No, I'm just messing with you. So look, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and go right to the clip of This Town Won't Die. And if you haven't shared with your friends, with your family, and even with your frenemies and started a watch party and you haven't liked or anything like that, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and do it right now. And we will be right back. Here we go. Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life. We are here tonight with another great show with another powerful influencer that is intended to be here just for you. All right, fantastic. I love it. Okay, folks, so here you are. You are going to super enjoy this. So if you're ready for it, go ahead and put a 5 down below. And here we go. Let's make this big so you can see it. You won't miss a thing here.
My thing is just, give with all I can give until I'm done.
I think that there's something that's rising out of the ashes here of yesteryear. The question is, will it rise higher than the fire?
This is my home. I love my house, and I'm very grateful for it. But I don't want to be here forever. There's nothing in this town. The town's dead. There's no work. There's no people. And unfortunately, unless you're in government and connected, there's no opportunities.
Everyone agrees we need clean and safe and secure municipalities. There's a cost to that.
I think it's a crisis in the Johnstown area. Most of the kids are not being served and just a few are being lifted up and allowed to be successful.
The public has to believe in the system. And that system of checks and balances rights the corruption problems.
I think we've worked together, and I don't really know. There could be competitions that I'm not really aware of them.
And I think a lot of people are doing things. The question is, what will it take to win and get the ball over the goal line? We're just marching from down to down at this point.
Fighting to get there to be first, and there's going to be a political craziness going on behind the scenes. That's just the nature of the beast.
You could tell people there's a state ethics investigation. I filed all the complaints. You could make it public, put it in the paper, and they'll still vote for the same person because he's really a nice guy.
Westmont, Wimber, whatever. A lot of those people are scared to come down here. But what reason, I don't know.
It's killings, shootings, fires. What is going on there? But it escalates. Every generation now it gets worse. It's real.
We're really bursting at the seams, believe it or not, because there's so many economically disadvantaged people that don't have an opportunity to make a higher income. And if they made a higher income, they wouldn't be living in our place.
I think more so than most places in the country, we've got a separation. We've got a two-class system. There's a small group of individuals that are doing well and have that kind of mobility here.
These are where the black people are at. These are where these people are at located. Look where they stick everything up, far up here on the hill, away from up in Richland. That's what it's about.
The fact that we have concentrations of nonprofit entities providing services to a big region and having the burden of their existence fall on a municipality is the same argument we've been making, the lack of wealth.
I don't think that the community even looks to the government as a resource to solve problems.
These people are actively fighting progress that would push the city forward. The reasoning, I can only guess that because they can't connect themselves to it and profit from it.
Nepotism fits. If an entity or an individual has established that machine to take advantage of publicly funded or whatever, we're not going to get anywhere from that either.
There's histories of graft and promises and distrust, and there certainly have been histories of that in Johnstown that can make people feel cynical.
Because I'm here to tell you there are things going on in your school department that you would be horrified at.
That you believe that you have a right to be an arrogant board.
You're going to be asked next to leave. You had your 3 minutes to talk. You don't sit back there. This is a school board meeting, not yours.
Your children can't be safe in the hallways at school. They aren't safe on our school buses. They aren't safe on school property, off of school property. It's pretty scary.
If you have a certain amount of money at the state and you allow that money to be diverted, then you're going to have less money available to resolve the most critical problems. That's the mistake. It's not the high school's fault.
Why would the district not give these individuals information that was public and that they had all along?
That's the $64 million question. They tried to arrest me 6 times.
I want her notice she's not allowed back in here.
I don't understand it.
It's survival. So you go from this grant to this grant to this grant, and you lose the sight what you're doing.
It's like we have some of these resources in these communities, but there aren't people to connect the dots. Here is this incredible kid who we want to thrive. What are the supports needed for this kid to actually feel stable and supported?
After school programs are good programs, and you should build on those. Nonprofits that do that type of work ought to be able to use those facilities to do things that kids want to be part of.
And being those when I was little growing up, we didn't have to pay to play. We just went out there to play. Time is on our side because that's what we have. It's time to show them.
You can no longer sit back and do nothing anymore in many of these cities.
Everyone needs to realize this: appearance of activity does not equal progress.
Oh, that can be fixed, but not overnight. It's one of those where now we have to bite the bullet and say, this isn't going to be fixed tomorrow.
And they're not stealing any more of my money.
That's what it is. Call old spirits of this town that won't die.
Wow. If you like that trailer, This Town Won't Die, go ahead and be the 7th person to get that shirt. You got to type in "This Town Won't Die" just the way you see it. Be the 7th person, and guess what? You're going to get that shirt. Wow. I got to tell you, that's powerful. That's super powerful. How do you feel when you see that come up, Mike, as one of the people who contributed to the movie? How do you feel when you see that?
Well, I think, I just have, this small piece in this message, but I think that it's validating for me, to know that I had felt that way privately. It's good to know that there are other people in this community that are champions of the silent majority too, that see these same issues and are out there trying to work at that. So I'm very proud of that. I'm proud to have been involved in this in that way.
All right, fantastic. And what about you, Vince? How do you feel? Because you are unequivocally one of the champions as well.
Restless. I know the work's just got started at this point.
Uh-huh.
We're just a couple months, well, maybe a few months after release now, but we have a lot of catching up to do and really want to get the efforts out there to promote this as much as possible, really build up the audience, because I think this is a film that's going to resonate with a lot of people. As long as people take to it, people that actually address, who want to address the problems in their community.
Exactly.
So I think this is going to speak to them.
And that's the key. You have to want to do something about it. I tell people, don't make excuses, make moves. If you want things to get better in your community, you are going to have to step up to the bat or to the plate and swing the bat. And that's what Mike and Vince have done. They have stepped up to the plate, they've swung that bat, and they're hitting the home run. And so can you. So with that being said, Mike, I want to offer you the opportunity to give us your last comments and also share anything about yourself with our group when we come back, because we're going to take a quick break so that you guys can just kind of chill a little bit. Oh, wait, we got a comment already. Wow. Dr. Shimo said you need to take action. I thought we was going to go to a break, but Dr. Shimo said, no, I'm going to say something right here and now. I'm going to say something right here and now. So I tell you what, because I was looking for some sevens and I'm going to change the game. Since Dr. Shimo came up and said, take action. That's the call to action we need. That's the call to action for you, each and every one of you. I say we give Dr. Shimo that shirt. What do you say?
I like that idea.
I love that idea.
I have sizes large and extra large with me, but we have plenty more. We even have women sizes as well. So if there's something that you're looking for specifically, just message me or message Lotus. I'll have something for you.
And let us know. You can message me on Messenger if you don't want to share what size you want, Doc. Just let us know what size you need, and we'll be happy to take care of you. And she said she likes that idea, and she'll take a large. So I'll tell you what, Vince will send it to me if that's okay, and I'll ship it to you myself. Or if you're okay with Vince sending it right from PA, I'll take care of the postage and all that, and Vince will send it directly to you. So just get at me, Dr. Shimo, and we'll get at you with your new shirt. And congratulations, and thank you so much for sticking by. So that's the break we were going to take. We gave away a shirt as well. So wonderful. So Mike, you're up to bat. Go ahead and swing and share with folks how to get at you. And if you want me to put it up on the screen, go ahead and put it in chat. I'll make sure I get it up on the screen. Go ahead and let people know how to get at you and tell them a little bit more about what you do, because we're bringing them back, right? I got to bring all the handsome fellas back. Look at his smile. It just lights up the whole room. So go ahead, Mike. Let the folks know.
Sure. Yeah. So I think, the best way, the message that I really want to get across is that if you haven't watched this movie, please watch it. I think that the circumstances we're all dealing with across the country, across the planet right now with Corona, really unfortunate timing relative to the release of this movie. But just want to encourage everyone to go ahead and watch it. This town has an incredible story. Vince has done an incredible job of assembling all these different pieces of this story. And, and so my business connection to this, my primary occupation, or what really brought me to town here, was an effort in cancer research. I'm still involved in that on a day-to-day basis, but I also brought my construction real estate development business back to life here on this side of the state after having operated for 10 years or so in Eastern Pennsylvania, and you know, and a number of investments in other small businesses too, and just really looking at this community and realizing that the good people here, the people that were displaced from industry, are really ready to work, and they're really interested in helping some of these things succeed. And the community itself is fantastic, the population at large, and we have to do everything we can. And this movie goes a long way to tell the story of those people in the sort of oppressed circumstance that is here. You know, so I'd encourage everyone to go ahead and take the time to watch this movie.
Yeah, and you won't be disappointed at all. And so don't forget, folks, we've got a 30-minute link right there on YouTube. You go right to YouTube. You can copy that and go to YouTube and watch that 30-minute preview. It is free. And also you can get at Vince at info@thistownwon'tdie.com. Make sure you go there, and you can also hit them up on facebook.com/This Town Won't Die. No matter how you get to them, just get to them, get to them, get to them, and get to them, and make sure you get your free preview. Okay. So with that being said, Mike, you said you are focusing on cancer research, and I know you have a construction company and all that, and I don't know if you're hiring folks, but I'm going to bring Mike back, and we're going to talk about his cancer research, because you guys know my mom has overcome cancer, and many people that we know have overcome cancer, and oftentimes it can't be done without the right research. So I'm going to invite Mike back, and we're going to talk about cancer research and how important it is for you to know the real deal on cancer research. Okay. And we're also going to talk about some construction. I worked on construction for a while, and it's an interesting business, I might add. So Vince, it's you, it's on you. Mike and I are kicking back. What are you going to say? What do you want to share? And see, I try to get Vince to smile. He was like, oh, I ain't gonna. Okay. What are you going to share? I'm going to put his face right up. I'm going to put his face right up here. We're going to, Mike and
Oh, wow. Full treatment. Thank you, Curtis. Appreciate it. Yeah, I want to just echo a little bit of what Mike just kind of spoke about. There are a lot of great people that I met along the way in the Johnstown region, and especially in the business community, like Mike himself. I think this movie really does call to action and urgency in small communities and large communities. Of it's time to stop the days old routine of going along just to get along, or just going along just to say that you're doing something. I think we need to put an end to that, really. So This Town Won't Die really does embrace a group of people that are oppressed, but it's the small groups that end up making a difference anyways. So here's to them, and I hope the movie's really speaks to them, and is a giant call to action for everyone that watches it. So everyone try to get a copy of it, watch it if you can on Vimeo. Would really appreciate any of the contributions, so we can continue to make these in the future, because I have a whole series planned, and I hope everybody takes an interest to watching the rest of it when it comes out.
All right. Fantastic. I'm loving it. So you've heard it from the best. Don't mess with the mess. You've heard it from the best. Get in on This Town Won't Die. And we'll be back next Friday with some other cast members and to share some interesting stories with you. And if you want to know more about cancer research, make sure you send me some hard questions for Mike, because we're not going to let Mike come back and have easy questions. We're going to put Mike on the spotlight. Mike going to have a ring light under his face. He's going to be up close and personal with you, and he's going to take your questions. So make sure you hit us with some Wonderful, wonderful questions. And a super shout out to Dr. Selena Pinashimo for winning the wonderful shirt. Why? Because she took action. So thank you so much. And with all that being said, it's almost time for me to go lay down this pretty head. So thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time. And always remember, don't hesitate to do what? As I always say, ignite and take flight and take control of every area of your life. See you next time.
Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life. We are here tonight with another great show with another powerful influencer that